This is the semifinal series, and now let's meet the lineup for both teams. First, for MisOr Mustangs. Number 1, Edok Doroteo. Number 3, Eugene Toba. Number 6, Neri Monteclaro. Number 9, Kevin Velasquez. Number 10, Joseph Nalos. Number 11, John Gonzalez. Number 14, Tay Tudoro. Number 17, Jetro Sombero. Number 21, Val Acuña. Number 24, Edward Paras. Number 33, Joshua Lazaro. Number 61, Axel Dolomal. Number 71, Nobi Lucero. Number 88, Brian Mecca. And number 29, Les Coulibaly. And now the starting players of your Benilde Blazers. Number 0, Matthew Oli. Number 2, Ike Lee. Number 3, Jarek Cañete. Number 6, Eman Ojuola. Number 7, Ian Torres. Number 14, Roger Ondoa. Number 17, Jomel Ancheta. Number 20, Justin Sanchez. Number 24, Angelo Vanguardia. Number 30, Kobe Ordonio. Number 33, Edson Serrano. Number 34, Allen Liwanag. Number 39, Tony Inut. Number 72, Gabriel Cometa. And number 77, Antonio Eusebio. Our officials of the ball game, crew chief Emmanuel Baron, Umpire 1, Ricord Baron. Umpire 2, Roy Bacazo. Technical director, Liberato Valenzuela.
We're moments away from tip-off right here now that both teams have greeted one another and exchanged pleasantries. Let's talk about the MisOr Mustangs, Coach Mark. We alluded to this win streak that they've accumulated heading into the semifinal matchup. They lost their first game in this tournament against Statham Academy, coming off of just having won the championship in the recent Pilipinas Vismin Super Cup. But after that L, they bounced back and they've won 4 in a row to get to this point.
And after that L, as you said, the MisOr Mustangs were suffering from what you could say was jet lag in the championship after party, so to speak. You know, they came in the same day that they played their first game. They arrived 2 p.m. in the airport and went straight here to Dasmariñas and facing a Statham Academy that, you know, they weren't able to scout. So that's the result. After that, they found their footing and they found their rhythm. This is a championship caliber team.
And let's take a look at how the MisOr Mustangs made their way here. They defeated CORSA Tires in the crossover knockout quarterfinal round behind 18 points from Axel Doromal.
And that was a pretty close game until maybe halfway towards the fourth quarter, wherein CORSA was keeping it close. But at the end, Axel Doromal proved to be the difference maker for the MisOr Mustangs. Scored 18 points in that game. No, this guy was the finals MVP during the championship run for the Pilipinas Vismin Super Cup.
And looking at Axel Doromal, he's been one of the standouts here for the MisOr Mustangs, averaging a little over 13 points per game, 4 assists per game. On the defensive end, he's also been a deterrent, swiping away 1.4 steals per game throughout the tournament.
And he's been excellent as the lead point guard and sometimes the shooting guard as well for the MisOr Mustangs. Defensively, he can play multiple positions and defend multiple guys. You see here, most of his offense really comes from generating turnovers from the backcourt and running in transition. Shot pretty well, 7 out of 13 from the field. So Axel Doromal has to duplicate that effort for them to have a chance against the Benilde Blazers tonight.
And if you're a fan of the EAC Generals, then you've got to be excited for Doromal to finally suit up for Emilio Aguinaldo College in Season 100. It will be his final year of eligibility when he does that. But he's not alone in the backcourt. He's joined by that man, Teo Lucero, who has been one of the leading playmakers here in this tournament.
And that's what makes this backcourt really electric for the MisOr Mustangs. Teo Lucero, last game, almost missed a triple-double. He scored 10 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, had 10 assists as the lead point guard in that game. He did, however, have 7 turnovers, but you could attribute that the sheer number of possessions that they had the ball in his hands. And you talked about how excited EAC fans will be. Teo Lucero will also be in that backcourt alongside Axel Doromal.
NCAA Season 100 shaping up to be quite the battleground, featuring players that we've gotten accustomed to here in Asiabasket. Now, hopping on over to the other side, we mentioned the NCAA. We got to talk about the Benilde Blazers, who are a fixture at the top of that league. This is a bunch of players that will be serving their residency this year, and they're getting ready for the next one. But here's a look at how they've done in Asiabasket throughout 2023. They're actually the only team to have been present in all 3 legs that we've run this year.
In all 3 leagues, they've been very successful, making it at least to the semifinals in each edition of Asiabasket. Remember, in our first 2 editions, that was the Team A, the team that's going to play in the NCAA, that currently playing in the NCAA, but right now, we're seeing the future for the Benilde Blazers, the Team B.
Now you're looking at the stats from their game against the Pilipinas Aguilas, who they handily took care of in the first game of our quarterfinal round. Allen Liwag led the way. That's another player that they're just keeping on tap right now, because by season 100, he will be producing stats like 16 points and 7 rebounds per contest for CSB.
CSB, or the Benilde Blazers rather, barely broke a sweat last night against the Pilipinas Aguilas. Absolutely dominant from the get-go, winning by more than half the total. So that was quite a performance from the whole team.
A-town down, that's what we can call Allen Liwag at this point, because he has been a standout here. Those are his stats from that game against the Pilipinas Aguilas, contributing across the board there.
And if you forgot, Allen Liwag was actually the NCAA MVP a couple seasons ago. So the Benilde Blazers have this guy waiting in the wings, ready to step up. And even he's coming off the bench here for their team.
Speaking of players who are making an impact for them, you've got Matthew Oli, who's been a knockdown sharpshooter for the Benilde Blazers. And he shot 4 of 7 from the outside in that game against the Pilipinas Aguilas. He's standing by with the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Sabrina San Diego. Sab?
Matthew, congratulations again for making it to the semis, but let's just have a recap on what happened during your last game. So what was the factor of your hot shooting 3 from last game?
Just my teammates instilling the confidence in me and myself. I started off struggling to begin the tournament, but they always told me to keep shooting, and I finally caught rhythm, so I'd have to give it to them and the coaches.
This might be your last game for this tournament, but I gotta ask, how are you liking the experience so far?
I'm liking the experience. I learned a lot from just all the games and playing all the other competitive players as well, and just learning from my team and my coaches.
All right, so back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. Matthew Oli, a recruit from San Joaquin Delta College in Stockton, California, now part of the Benilde Blazers lineup. And that pregame presentation has been brought to you by Gal Drugstore and Sanzar Pharmaceuticals, bringing color to life through the art of healing.
Tower forward number 3, Eugene Toba. At small forward number 17, Jetro Sombero. Number 61, Axel Doroman. At point guard number 71, Nobi Lucero. And at center number 29, Les Coulibaly. The head coach of MisOr Mustangs is Coach J.R. Kawaling. And now the starting unit of your Benilde Blazers. At small forward number 0, Matthew Oli. At center number 6, Eman Ojuwala. At point guard number 17, Jomel Ancheta. At power forward number 34, Allen Liwag. And at shooting guard number 39, Tony Ined. The head coach of Benilde Blazers is Coach Raiko Toroman.
And there's a look at your starting lineup for MisOr, Lucero, and Doromal, their usual backcourt. Las Coulibaly and Eugene Toba shoring up that front line alongside Jethro Sombero. Meanwhile, for the Benilde Blazers, Ancheta and Tony Inot in the backcourt. No surprises there. Eman Ojula, their man in the middle. And then Allen Liwag and Matthew Oli starting here in the front court. And this tip-off of the game is brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets.
And much like their matchup against the Phuket Waves, the Benilde Blazers going with a bigger front line with Liwag and Ojula playing at the same time.
And that's the counter Toba and Coulibaly, and this MisOr Mustangs front line has actually been very dominant here, and that's one of the reasons why they made it this far into this tournament. Three-pointer's good for Ancheta.
Ancheta really rounding out to be a more complete player here in our Asiabasket tournament. Known more for his defense, he's found his offense so far in this tournament.
He's been averaging over 10 points per game in this very short tournament so far.
And this is a good matchup we're going to see, and probably see further down in the NCAA Season 100. It's going to be Ancheta and Lucero. They're going to get familiar with each other, staring each other at the face very early in the game.
And look at Tony Ino just getting in the middle of both men, separating them, trying to make sure that there's not much tension. And Tony Ino has been one of the cooler personalities that we've encountered in Asiabasket, always with a smile on his face. So leave it to him to break that tension.
Tony Ino, not only is he a really good player, but now giving Lucero a stare down as well.
Going back to Jomel Ancheta, he's a transferee from CEU. He'll have 4 years of eligibility for the Benilde Blazers. So he'll be there for Season 100 and beyond as Las Coulibaly sends himself to the foul line.
Great pocket pass there from, I think it was Axel Doromal coming off that quick ball screen.
And let's take a look at that Jomel Ancheta 3. That three-point shot of the game is brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. Las Coulibaly no good on that free throw. There was an interesting report that came from one of our colleagues in the sideline report team from earlier this week where Las Coulibaly has actually been working in the maritime industry as a seaman. So very interesting to see where his career has taken him after having played college basketball here in the Philippines.
Well, it's definitely very interesting, and finding time to play ball at that. You know, we all know that industry is very time consuming.
Axel Doromal slowing the pace down here for the MisOr Mustangs. And Coulibaly just arrived literally minutes before the lineups were announced earlier, so it's good to see that he doesn't seem to be panicking. It'll take him a while to get going, unlike Eugene Toba, who's already warmed up.
Eugene Toba showing the range. He's been a beast this whole tournament, dropping 20-20 double-doubles almost every game.
And Eugene Toba in the running for MVP. Definitely in the running for the All-Asia Basket Tournament first team.
That front line, an early problem for the Benilde Blazers. Toba operating from the outside.
Now let's take a look at that last assist of the game from Lucero to Eugene Toba for 3, and that assist of the game is brought to you by Fiberblaze. Nothing beats local. Here's Enot from the outside. Caught nothing but air. Doromalo on the break. They go back to Toba. Eugene Toba fades. And that's tipped in. I believe that was Sombero.
And Mustangs working with a much larger front court. Sombero usually the starting 4 guy for the Mustangs, right now playing the 3.
Ancheta surveying his options. Finds Liwag with some space. 6 on the shot clock. Oli for 3. No good. Doromal to Toba with an easy layup. He missed the layup. Ojula cleaning it up.
Had second thoughts there whether to lay it up or dunk it.
And Enot tried to make his way into the paint. He knew that Coulibaly was staring him dead in the face.
And Toba wishes he could get that one back. He changed his mind midway as he was flying in the air. Decided to do a finger roll instead of jamming it in.
I think everybody was expecting him to throw it down. Kaso nag-alangan to si Eugene Toba. 14 on the shot clock here for the Blazers. Nice two-man game here between Ancheta and Liwag, who drives to the rack. That ball goes out of bounds. It'll be MisOr ball.
Ojula will have his hands full against Coulibaly and Toba. And last time he was matched up with a bigger front line. It was Kenyo Williams and Ray Miller of the Phuket Waves.
Here's Sombero in the paint. Through the defense, up and in.
Good to see Jetro Sombero very aggressive early in the game. Mustangs will need that third scorer in order to have a chance here in the game.
Ancheta going through that pick set by Emma Nujula. And they're looking for Tony Enot to create or to make plays. And Ojula took too many steps there.
Great job by the front line of the MisOr Mustangs, just holding their ground, keeping their hands up without fouling.
And here's another look at that Jethro Sombrero drive, and that drive of the game was brought to you by Jabber Motocom. Make rides more fun. Meanwhile, you just heard the announcement of the three-point shot. MisOr now up by 7, forcing the Benilde Blazers to call for time. MisOr Mustangs up by 7 after that last Eugene Toba three-pointer. And Coach Raiko Toroman not liking what's happening here.
Blazers off to a very slow start. Looks like they're more concerned saying sweet nothings to their defenders instead of executing on offense.
And this is very uncharacteristic of the only undefeated team remaining here in this tournament, as Oli gets his own miss. Tony Inot still short. Ancheta with a third chance here. That high arcing shot saved by Liwag, or almost saved by Liwag. And CSB had multiple chances there on that trip.
As you said, Stan, the Blazers have been a model of discipline for the whole tournament. So this is very uncharacteristic, this start by the Blazers.
Lucero thought he lost his man there. Nobi Lucero averaging almost 10 assists per game, adding to that total.
A great off-ball movement by Jethro Sombrero, recognizing the mismatch he had with Jomel Ancheta. Easy seal and 2 points for him.
That's 6 points each for Toba and Sombrero. Oli still shooting threes, getting his own miss, this time with a putback.
That's great body control by Matthew Oli, taking the bump from Eugene Toba and finishing.
Matthew Oli has enough of a skill set on him to take that shot and know that he can get that offensive rebound. So that's something you've got to like, despite the fact that it took him 2 chances to make that shot. And here's another look at Nobi Lucero, and that assist of the game brought to you by Fiberblaze. Nothing beats local.
And Jomel Ancheta subbed out early by Coach Raiko. Ancheta's been very distracted with this matchup with Deo Lucero.
Lucero dumping it to Coulibaly through the defense. Lucero gets that shot to go.
The Mustangs just a bit quicker to the basketball right now compared to the Blazers, who seem to be a bit slow executing offensively and defensively.
And we're not used to seeing the Benilde Blazers on the back foot here, but that's exactly where they are with 5 minutes remaining here in the first. They're feeling the pressure, and it results in a deflection out of bounds. That one was last off Doromal.
On this backcourt by the Mustangs has been very disruptive defensively. Talking about Doromal and Lucero.
Tony Inot has little time on the clock. Ojula couldn't save it. 14 on the shot clock here for the Blazers. Ian Torres has checked in. Torres with the rock, and I think it was Inot and Coulibaly who got tangled up there.
Again, the lack of discipline here for the Blazers. They're getting too caught up in the physicality early in the game being brought by the Mustangs. So every time they're trying to hit somebody on the screens, there's a little extra motion there being caught by referees.
Allen Liwag takes a seat. He's replaced by Antonio Eusebio, who has made an impact by putting himself on the Phil Basket highlight reel.
Seems like every game Antonio Eusebio gets 1 or 2 highlight dunks.
And if you're a fan of the UP Fighting Maroons, it must sting a little to watch Antonio Eusebio cross over the tap. Here's Doromal in the paint. Couldn't get that one to go. Eusebio with a rebound. Oli leaking out, but Doromal just pilfers it from Ian Torres. Here's Axel. Nice pass there. Easy basket for Jethro Sombero.
Mustangs playing with a lot more energy compared to the younger guns of the Blazers.
Axel Doromal, hyperactive on the court. Enot is calling for it. Dumping into Ojula, but there's a foul.
Right there, that was better execution in the half court by Benilde. Finding the mismatch Ojula had against Sombero.
Now let's take a look at Axel Doromal making that defensive play of the game, brought to you by Decathlon. So he was able to take the ball away from Torres, go back down the other way, and then that no-look pass to Jethro Sombero. What a highlight.
And what's crucial for the Mustangs now, when they rotate players, the quality of the gameplay that's going to happen after these 5 guys who've been playing very excellent.
I mean, all you need is just 5 guys who can play well together at any given time, as Ian Torres misses that jumper. Eman Ojula with the offensive rebound. No good off the glass. Kind of threw that one up there.
And we all know you can't play basketball with just 4 guys.
Absolutely, coach. Lucero didn't use that screen. Found himself a lane anyway.
Oh, this backcourt has been blistering for the Mustangs. Lucero and Doromal absolutely creating a lot of havoc for the MisOr Mustangs.
Very efficient as well. Doromal's actually scoreless, but he's been doing a lot here for the MisOr Mustangs. Almost had his 4th rebound, but Oli was able to take that away from him. And the Benilde Blazers have been missing a lot of jumpers and a lot of easy ones. Ojula had to work for that one.
Well, all credit goes to the Bang Bang gang. Doromal and Lucero absolutely bring the heat in the first quarter.
And you could say that it's been guns up for the MisOr Mustangs because they've been pretty accurate on the floor, shooting around 63% up to this point.
Oh, they've been nothing but gold here in the first quarter.
And Eugene Toba is proving you right yet again, coach.
Eugene Toba looks like he found gold in the Philippines.
That's 8 points for Eugene Toba. 8 for Sombero. Together, they've got 16. Kobe Ordonez checked in. Let's see if he can spark some instant offense. Unable to, though. Lucero to Doromal. And Axel goes to the line there. And Coach J.R. Kawaling is loving what he's seeing. Matthew Oli probably going to get tagged there for that foul.
And Coach Raiko Doromal seeing for firsthand what he's going to see next season when Doromal and Lucero will be able to play for the EAC Generals.
Meanwhile, Eugene Toba using his size down in the block for that move of the game, brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. And while Axel Doromal lines up for his free throws, let's bring in Sabrina San Diego, who's got an update on Doromal.
Stan and Coach Mark, kanina nga nakausap ko si Axel Doromal and he mentioned that the team is feeling the exhaustion already despite the fact that things are going pretty well para nga sa MisOr Mustangs. Sabi pa rin naman niya sa akin na marami na nga daw sa kanila ang nagkakasakit at bukod pa nga dito, kanina na-mention na nga rin niya how bad the traffic at baka daw mamaya ito ay isa pa sa mga maka-apekto sa kanilang game today. Yun lang na muna, balik muna sa inyo.
Thank you very much, Sab. Tama nga naman, di ba? According to that popular TV advertisement, bawal magkasakit. And 'tis the season, there's a bug going around. And, you know, even players who play at a high level, like Axel Doromal, are beginning to feel the exhaustion.
And people have to remember, the Mustangs, they're not just playing here in the Asiabasket. They've been playing for almost a good month before they stepped on the floor here in Asiabasket because they did play for almost 3 weeks for the Pilipinas Vismin Super Cup. So they come in here with a little more baggage, so to speak.
And that's bound to take a toll. So credit to Axel Doromal for having the maturity to recognize it. As Tate Teodoro takes his first shot, that's a 3. Teodoro once again, nice dump to Eugene Toba. Just way too tall for the Benilde defenders. Toba faded there. Still had 9 seconds on the shot clock. Ordonez, nice pass there. Eusebio brings it back. Ojula with the putback.
So Ojula, being the stable presence that he is, bringing that interior scoring for the Benilde Blazers, something they really needed. They only have 9 points here.
It's very funny that Justin Sanchez was very tentative trying to take those shots. It's not something we're used to seeing out of Sanchez.
And tentative is not usually a word used to describe Justin Sanchez.
Meanwhile, Doromal from the free throw line gets that one to go. And he's got an end one opportunity waiting for him.
Axel Doromal showing why he was finals MVP during their championship run in the Pilipinas Vismin Super Cup.
And that's a move of the game brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. Axel Doromal just baiting Kobe Ordonio, getting that contact, hanging in the air, and then just draining that foul line J.
Coach Raiko shuffling players now, trying to find the right combination to really try to wake up this Benilde Blazer squad.
In comes Gab Cometa, transferee out of San Beda University. And then for the other side, MisOr Tobas out, Doroteo is in, and so is Val Acuña, joined by Nicky Monteclaro. So you've got a bunch of vets here for the MisOr Mustangs.
Right, so the next few minutes, this last 1 minute in the first quarter and the start of the second, will be very important for these bench guys of the MisOr Mustangs if they can sustain this level of play.
Almost a turnover there, but Justin Sanchez is there to recover. Sanchez couldn't find an opening. Ojula hits the deck. And that foul looks like it'll go against Edok Doroteo.
Oh, Doroteo did everything he could to prevent Ojula from getting that basketball deep in the paint.
5 on the floor for CSB. It's Ordonio, Ojula, Sanchez, Cometa, and Eusebio. There's the pick. Gab Cometa took that jumper. It looked ill-advised, but then again it went in.
And that's the veteran in Gab Cometa, never in a rush, looking for a good shot.
Shot clock has been turned off here. Cometa just pressing on Monteclaro, almost got the steal. Good recovery. They go to Tete Chodoro, and it could very well be tea time for Tete. Nice pass inside to Doroteo, who finishes. And as time runs out on the first quarter, the MisOr Mustangs have just put on a clinic against the Benilde Blazers. 16-point margin here after one. We had a first quarter full of surprises. What did the MisOr Mustangs do here to stun the Benilde Blazers after one?
Well, number one, it was the energy of that backcourt, the Bang Bang Gang. Axel Doromal and Dale Lucero starting things off offensively and defensively for the MisOr Mustangs, bring a lot of energy, outplaying their counterparts from the Benilde Blazers.
It was really guns up for the MisOr Mustangs, as we remind everyone that CORSA Tires is the official partner of the 2023 Asiabasket Championship Dasmariñas, which is being shown live on YouTube, Facebook, Tap Sports, and of course on the Blast TV app. Maraming salamat po sa pagtangkilik sa aming liga, even for all of the patrons who visited and joined us here at the Dasmariñas Arena as Gab Cometa drains that shot from the foul line.
Oh, that's the first time that the Blazers really executed something cleanly.
Veteran lineup here for the Mustangs. Val Acuña, still a shooter into his mid-30s. And here's Tete Chodoro. He loves to fire from long range. Cometa now being the engine here for this Blazers offense. Let's see what Sanchez does. Even Justin Sanchez is missing those easy looks.
It's been a tough tournament for Justin Sanchez. He's really struggled to find his identity here in this Benilde lineup.
Cometa picking up the steal here. Tony Inot, nice pass to Ordonio. Easy finish.
That's trademark Benilde Blazers right there, forcing a turnover, getting their athletes out on the break for easy finishes.
Kobe Ordonio, a second-generation player. His father, John Ordonio, played in the PBA in the 90s.
Oh, I remember John Ordonio with his time with the Pop Cola Panthers.
Doroteo no good on that jumper. Las Coulibaly earns another pair of charities here.
Oh, Eman Ojula has not seen any kind of rest in this game.
Let's take a look at that assist from Tony Inot to Kobe Ordonio, and that assist of the game was brought to you by Fiberblaze. Nothing beats local. So Ojula takes a seat here. Alan Liwag replacing him. And you could say that the Benilde Blazers are downsizing here.
So Alan Liwag is a good 6'6", but remember, the Mustangs do have 2 world imports compared to only 1 for the Benilde Blazers. So that front line, very mobile, very skilled for the MisOr Mustangs.
Let's see what Cometa sets up here for Sanchez. Sanchez from the outside finally gets one to go.
It's going to be big for the Blazers if Justin Sanchez finally breaks out of his slump right here in the semifinal game.
And as you alluded to earlier, Coach Mark, Justin Sanchez has been unrecognizable here, only posting pedestrian numbers. If you contrast that with his All-Asia Basket first-team numbers from Las Piñas.
That's right, Justin Sanchez averaged almost 20 points per game last time we saw him here in Asiabasket. Again, you know, it's a different setting here being with the Benilde Blazers. He's being asked to play more of a role than being the focal point of the offense.
And that Justin Sanchez three-pointer was brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. Still a double-digit deficit here for the Benilde Blazers. MisOr has 14 seconds on the shot clock. Lucero setting the table here, thought he could feed Doroteo. That went off Justin Sanchez's leg. And MisOr has another 14 seconds here.
So in the minutes that De Lucero has rested, the Benilde Blazers only chopped off 3 points from the lead. So good job on the bench from the MisOr Mustangs.
Coulibaly, good offensive rebound, better assist to Doroteo.
Great hustle there from Coulibaly with the rebound and a great dish.
Alan Liwag back on the floor here for the Blazers, takes that push shot. And now Coulibaly was running the break there. Coulibaly inside. And as the Benilde Blazers try to set up their offense, it'll be interesting to see how they get Alan Liwag going. For more on that, let's bring in Sabrina San Diego. Sab?
He was running late yesterday, and he actually got surprised that he was even chosen by Coach Rico to be part of the starting 5. He even mentioned that things became more interesting knowing that assistant Coach Pao was on the other side of the court. At kung meron man daw siyang gustong may apply na nag-work nga para nga sa team nila, ito daw ay ang decision-making ng team. What do you think, Stan and Coach Mark?
Thank you very much, Sab. You know, Alan Liwag, slow start for him. And it does take a lot to earn the trust of your coaching staff, as we see one of the Benilde Blazers on the floor. Is that Gab Cometa?
That looks like Gab Cometa hitting the deck after that steal. Coach Rico asking for an unsportsmanlike foul.
So let's take a look at that last defensive play of the game from Las Coulibaly, brought to you by Decathlon. And if we heard the game announcer right, that could be the last play that Coulibaly would be involved in.
And if that is true, that's going to be huge, because Coulibaly has been playing very well.
So we're going to wait here for a review. Our officials are now conferring here by our commissioner.
I hope you can see a replay of what happened, because everything happened so quick there.
Gab Cometa's actually walking our direction, and yes, he did take that hit. Fortunately, he's able to get up on his own. He's walking it off. And this official review is brought to you by the bringer of news, features, and scoops in the world of hoops. Follow Hoop Junkie on your favorite social media platform. Anong nakikita mo dyan, Coach?
Well, from the screen, looks like after Coulibaly lost control of the ball, he hit Cometa right in the face. I don't know if it was intentional, and the refs are calling a sportsmanlike foul because it was above the shoulder.
Okay, so last Coulibaly hasn't been ejected, has he?
I don't think so. So Coulibaly will stay. Just a, unsportsmanlike foul. The hit seemed inadvertent.
For the Benilde Blazers, this could be the opportunity for a swing. So they get 2 shots and possession. As many as 5 points in one trip for them. And when you're staring up at this deficit, you're going to welcome any opportunity to put points on in a hurry.
If you're an offense struggling like the Benilde Blazers, like you said, they'll take any chance for a point that they can get. Maybe this will be the break that they need to really mount a run to get this game closer.
Got a substitution here. Gab Cometa takes a seat after draining those 2 free throws very calmly. Admirable effort from Cometa as Jomel Ancheta takes his place here.
And that's the veteran in Gab Cometa. He understands the assignment. Still has 2 free throws to make.
Enot for 3, straight away. Liwag with the offensive rebound. Feeds Sanchez, good pump fake. Still can't get it to go. Liwag with another rebound, this time to Enot inside.
And that's the 4-point play you were talking about earlier, Stan. After those 2 free throws by Cometa, put back by Tony Enot cuts the lead down to 11.
So much has happened less than 4 minutes into this second quarter. Teodoro gives it to Acuna. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Miscommunication there. Enot is on the loose. Tony Enot can't finish it with a layup. Instead, earns himself 2 free throws.
And that's the athlete, Tony Enot. Only took a couple dribbles from the half line and he was already taking off for that layup. Took Tete Teodoro completely by surprise.
Sayang yun. He was looking forward to a 3-point play opportunity. He'll have to settle for these 2 free throws instead as we take a look at our co-founders in PhilBasket. Jai Reyes on the left, the great hoop junkie Pat Edrozo on the right. First free throw is good for Enot.
You could say the pillars of Asiabasket.
Yes, we're referring to Mr. Jai Reyes and hoop junkie Pat Edrozo. The pillars on which our humble little league has been built. Tete Teodoro taking a seat. Axel Doromal is back. So is Leo Lucero. A very quiet 6 minutes of action for Tete Teodoro. As Toba swoops in for the layup basket. Counts. 3-point play opportunity. And for the Benilde Blazers, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Again, the effect of having the backcourt of Lucero and Doromal, 2 guys who can really get downhill and attract a lot of defense. He was able to dump it down to Toba for this end-one opportunity.
I thought you meant to say that Doromal and Lucero could get down and move it all around because that's what they've done for this offense for the MisOr Mustangs.
That they do. They're getting jiggy with it, definitely.
About 6 minutes left to play here in the first half. Justin Sanchez wants to get hot. And he is ice cold.
Ice cold, as Andre 3000 would say. Ice cold. Justin Sanchez can't buy a bucket.
Sanchez getting physical there with Doroteo. Liwag with the deflection and the steal. They're on the break. Here's Enot. Gets that one.
Enot, just an excellent finisher on the break. If you remember correctly, against the Phuket Waves, he caught Raymiller 3 times by surprise in transition.
10 points separating CSB and the MisOr Mustangs, and we have another break in the action courtesy of that foul.
So far, so good for the MisOr Mustangs. Despite the fast break attacks in the second quarter for the Benilde Blazers, they've really dictated the tempo very well in the half court.
How about that last drive of the game? Allen Liwag finding Tony Enot. filling the lane and then driving there. That was brought to you by Jabber Motocom. Make rides more fun. Deo Lucero with his own drive. Couldn't answer. Liwag with another rebound. He has been gobbling them up. Inot, nice pass to Ordonio from the outside. Rattles out.
And so far, the three-point shot hasn't been a friend for the Blazers. They're only shooting 2 out of 11 from 3.
Toba, nice find to Brian Mecca. And Coach Raiko Toroman wants to talk things over once again. He and Coach Paulo Layuk have a lot to talk about as we take a look at that assist of the game. Eugene Toba finding Brian Mecca. That was brought to you by Fiberblaze. Nothing beats local. And there's a look at our fans of the game brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. Some Friday night hoops action dito sa Dasmariñas Arena in Etivac. Sa pong tunay na lugar for hoops.
It's a good place to be for basketball. Etivac, Dasmariñas. This is a beautiful arena that we have here. Brand new. Aircon really cold.
4:46 remaining here in the half. Ancheta thought he had an opportunity, kicked it out to Liwag. Rebound Tony Inot to Liwag. Nice passing to Ojula, still can't finish. And there's Liwag with a push shot. The Benilde Blazers have really struggled offensively here.
And just the mere presence of Toba and Coulibaly changing shots of the Benilde Blazers.
Quick ball movement there results in a turnover for MisOr. Kobe Ordonio finally gets one to go.
That was a great catch by Kobe Ordonio, doing his best Devin Funches impersonation, catching that forward pass from Tony Inot.
But that stop was triggered by Tony Inot just getting that steal. So you have to credit the hustle from Inot. 11 on the shot clock here. How will Doromal respond? Axel kicking out to Lucero. Time's about to run out. And Doromal just threw it up. He seemed to be aware, but Lucero wasn't. We play on. Ancheta now making a move. Stops and pops at the free throw line. That's good from 15 feet. And now we are within single digits. Are the Benilde Blazers onto something here, Coach?
A little more disciplined offensively for the Blazers. They are getting shots. Despite them missing, they still have that confidence to keep going. But more importantly, they're getting stops defensively and translating it fast break points.
We've got a MisOr Mustangs timeout here. But first, let's show you the move of the game brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. Jomel Ancheta with the rock, calmly draining that foul line jumper. The Benilde Blazers have outscored the MisOr Mustangs 19-11 so far in the second quarter here, Coach.
They've done it defensively. They've forced a lot of stops from the MisOr Mustangs, translating it to early fast break attacks.
They're chipping away, slowly but surely. But can they sustain it? That's the question that they're looking to answer in the last 3:16 of the half. Doromal steps to the side, hits that mid-range J.
Axel Doromal says, what? Can't stop me now, Matthew Oli. Axel Doromal proving to be still a problem here in the first half.
The ball finds its way to Enot once again. Crowded through space. Enot, no, sorry, Ancheta. That push shot rattles its way in.
Ancheta willed that basket inside. You could hear him shouting as that ball trickled in.
That's 7 points for Jomel Ancheta. As Lucero, nice pass to, I believe that's Mecca. Now Doromal saves it. Good two-man game here, but oh, Matthew Oli and Eugene Toba were getting physical.
Matthew Oli just doing his job there. Eugene Toba has to keep a calm head. They do have the lead. And he doesn't have to do anything, you know, undisciplined, because they need Toba and Coulibaly both on the floor to maintain this lead.
There's Eugene Toba at the line. We said at the top of the broadcast that he's been producing MVP numbers for the MisOr Mustangs. A shade under 18 points per game, over 13 rebounds per game.
Oh, he's definitely played better in this third edition of the Asiabasket when he was playing in Las Piñas for the Pilipinas Águilas. It took him quite a few games to really find his rhythm and find his game.
And if you've been following the NCAA, that performance of the Pilipinas Águilas might have made you question what happened to the Eugene Toba, who was the FSA of the San Beda Red Lions program. But this Eugene Toba is more of a familiar sight.
And Eugene Toba also has bulked up a bit since his college days. I remember he was a reed-thin power forward for the Red Lions back in his day.
Oli was asking for it from behind the arc, nails it!
That's a rare make from the three-point land for the Blazers. That's only their third make.
And as we approach the 2-minute mark here in the half, the Benilde Blazers are only down by 7. They have to get a stop here, which they do. Oli gets it. Ancheta on the run. Hangs in the air and gets that one to fall. 5-point game, but here's Lucero on the other end with the answer.
A poor transition defense there from the Benilde Blazers. Nobody really playing safety, allowing Lucero a counter immediately.
They were feeling themselves after that last Ancheta bucket. Nag-celebrate sila. And there's a foul there after that Lucero rebound. And you notice Brian Mecca was already leaking out down the other way.
And that's big because that's 3 fouls now on Jomel Ancheta, and also puts them in the penalty. That's 2 more free throws for the MisOr Mustangs.
Now let's see that Matthew Oli 3-point shot of the game, brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets. So Nobby Lucero at the line. And Ancheta having that third foul is costly because he's the one who's been spurring that offense for the Benilde Blazers throughout this run.
And that energy, especially defensively, has really allowed CSB to get out and run in transition, get some easy shots.
Nasty miss from the foul line from Lucero. And Liwag just snatched that board. That's his 5th rebound. Ancheta still on the floor. Coach Raiko Toroman gambling here.
Coach Raiko not happy with that 3-point shot by Jomel Ancheta.
There's so much time left in that possession. Over a minute left to play here. Toba had some space. Now he glides in and uses the backboard.
Nobody helping out there on that attack by Eugene Toba. Only Ancheta, a good 5'6" of him, going up against 6'7" Eugene Toba.
10 points na naman ang lamang ng MisOr Mustangs. Enot to Liwag, down on the baseline. That J was smooth like butter.
That's been money for Allen Liwag the whole tournament long. He has that mid-range jumper and a mid-range floater as well.
Only the first basket for Allen Liwag, believe it or not. About 14 seconds separating shot clock and game clock here. MisOr showing patience. Toba wide open for 3. Nails it. 3 leads to 16 for Eugene Toba. Allen Liwag through the defense. No, Enot on the corner. Enot lays it up and in. Time's running out. Lucero kicks it out to Doromal, unable to catch it. And our referees are whistling that there was a foul that occurred right before time expired. Axel Doromal probably got hit in the face or somewhere in the jaw. So hindi pa tapos officially itong first half natin because right before the buzzer sounded, there was a whistle. That's gonna go against Matthew Oli. Third personal foul for him. That's 2 Blazers with 3 fouls heading into halftime.
That's 2 starters for Coach Raiko with 3 fouls. And a poor foul by Matthew Oli just after they made the basket. Probably going to give Axel Doromal 2 free throws here with no time left.
And regardless of the fact that Oli and Ancheta are starters, we know how deep the Benilde Blazers bench is. The fact that these 2 guys have been dominating the playing time for the Blazers, they've been very involved offensively. For them to have 3 fouls heading into halftime, that's got to hamper the strategy for Coach Raiko and the rest of his staff. Now there's a look at our official review, brought to you by the bringer of news, features, and scoops in the world of hoops. Follow Hoop Junkie on your favorite social media platform.
I guess the refs are done with their review. They're just checking if there was any time left on the clock officially. You'll see the replay here, the great pass there by De Lucero. Not clear where the foul was right there. Seems to be, maybe it happened before the replay. But the referees are sticking with the call. And there is still half a second left on the game clock.
So the official clock is that, or as it stands, there's half a second remaining on the clock. And Axel Doromal is at the line. He's getting ready to shoot 2 free throws.
If anything, that was a great sell by Axel Doromal towards the end, fishing a foul from nothing.
First free throw is good for Axel Doromal, and that's how you create points. So Doromal's second free throw is no good, and that takes us to halftime. Score 51-41. There's still some confusion on the court. Words being exchanged from both sides.
There's some color between Doromal and Oli.
Now let's bring in Sabrina San Diego, who can provide insight on what's going on as we head towards the half. I believe she's standing by with Jethro Sombero of the MisOr Mustangs, who are currently up by 10. What do you have for us, Sab?
Jethro Sombero of MisOr Mustangs, ngayon nga kasama ko nga siya beside me. Kakamustahin na muna kita at syempre ang atmosphere knowing nga sa inyong bench, knowing nga na kayo ang lamang sa first half.
Syempre masaya yung bench namin kasi kami nga yung lamang. Tapos dahil din sa mga teammate namin na todo cheer up sa mga tao na nasa loob. Ayun.
Kanina nga na-mention nga sa akin ng mga teammates mo na napapagod na nga kayo, na-feel nyo na nga yung exhaustion. But I gotta ask, what do you think is working para nga sa team ninyo?
Nagwo-work sa amin talaga is yung communication namin. Kaya yun, yung nakita naman na yung first up namin. Ayun lang.
Alright, so good luck to you and to the rest of the team. Gentlemen?
Thank you very much, Sab. Before we get to the break, let's show you that review once again of that last sequence that led to those Axel Doromal free throws. Because it still is largely unclear. Coach Raiko Toroman of the Benilde Blazers is still on the floor discussing with the officials just what happened there.
And we didn't really see what happened because the buzzer did sound and there was some color right there for the rebound. And ooh,
So there's a bump there between Doromal and Oli. Doromal's shoulder clearly making contact with Matthew Oli's back.
and it doesn't seem like it was a basketball play by Doromal, because Oli was going for the loose ball right there, and Doromal just essentially did a body check on Matthew Oli, not really going for the basketball.
So the officials have ruled that there is an unsportsmanlike foul within time. So 2 free throws and possession of the game will go to the Benilde Blazers, and this will take effect right as we resume in the second half. In the meantime, 10-point margin, the MisOr Mustangs up 51-41 as we head to the break. What a frenetic ending to that first half between the MisOr Mustangs and the Benilde Blazers. 10 points separating them, 51 to 41. Just to clarify a few things, we're going to start off with what was an unsportsmanlike foul on Las Coulibaly at the 7:02 mark of the second quarter. So both Coach Mark and I, we reacted to what we thought was a statement from the game announcer. Apparently, that was him communicating with the referees, clarifying if Coulibaly was meant to be thrown out. So that remark was something that only we on the headsets were able to hear because of the placement of our mics and equipment. So the clarification is that Las Coulibaly obviously still on the playing court. He wasn't thrown out. So that was something that had to be clarified there in the moment. And then towards the end of that first half, there was that unsportsmanlike foul on Axel Doromal as he hit Matthew Oli in the back there. So again, the 2 free throws and possession for the Benilde Blazers, that will kick things off here in the second half. But as we take a look at the big stats here, what stood out to you the most, Coach?
Obviously, the shooting for the MisOr Mustangs has been on point. A lot of their shots has come from the paint. That's why they're shooting 57%. And the Benilde Blazers really struggling with the three-point shot, only shooting 20%. They've only made three-point shots so far in the first half. And the points from turnovers, that is something that picked up in the second quarter for the Benilde Blazers. Their defense really turned up, allowing them to get on the fast break and convert on those layups.
Taking a look at our game leaders up to this point, Eugene Toba leading all scorers with 18. Nobody in double figures from the Benilde Blazers. Las Coulibaly, 8 rebounds, setting the pace there. Deo Lucero with 7 assists, leading every playmaker. And Coulibaly also contributing on the defensive end. He's got 3 blocks. And the Benilde Blazers have been undefeated up to this point, but staring at a 10-point deficit at the half. You've got to wonder what's going on inside that locker room. What conversations are they having? Sabrina San Diego is standing by with assistant coach Paulo Layug of the Benilde Blazers to hopefully give us some insight. Sam?
Assistant Coach Paulo Layog of CSB Blazers is right here beside me. So, Coach, things are really slow para nga sa ating Benilde Blazers today. But I gotta ask, what do you think that needs to be changed to have a good run in the second half? Kwenta mo naman sa amin.
I think for us, we have to try and improve our defense. Obviously, MisOr is a very good team, a lot of veterans. We have to pay attention to the details a little bit more and provide more energy. And hopefully from there, the energy and defensive energy will help fuel our offense as well. Maybe we can get out more in transition a little bit.
Is there anything that Coach Raiko mentioned in the dugout that needs to be implemented?
Coach Raiko is a very disciplinarian, so I think for us, it's really more about attention to detail and just trying to implement our game plan.
All right, so good luck to you, Coach, and to the rest of the team. Back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Sab. And as we wait for the second half to kick things off, what do the Benilde Blazers have to do from your standpoint, Coach?
Well, number one, they have to defend that ball screen better. Ball screen action between De Lucero and Eugene Toba has been the focal point of the offense for the MisOr Mustangs. The Benilde Blazers has to choose between defending De Lucero or defending Eugene Toba. Obviously, Eugene Toba making three-point shots just off that action.
Let's see how the Benilde Blazers respond when the second half resumes in a bit. we're about to kick things off here in the second half, and if you might be wondering why we're about to start with free throws, it was a result of an unsportsmanlike foul. So our game announcer just told everyone in the arena that Axel Doromal was assessed with an unsportsmanlike foul, resulting in that last collision with Matthew Oli of the Benilde Blazers towards the end of the first half. So what's going to happen now is Matthew Oli will have 2 shots at the line, and then the Benilde Blazers will have possession. Missed opportunity there for Oli. And that's got to hurt, Coach.
And definitely because, you know, Benilde bleeding for points almost the whole first half. They did score 30 points in that second quarter, but you need offense where you can get it. But, you know, Oli, he's been struggling with his outside shot despite him really shooting very well whole tournament long. Here in the big stage, he's going to need to step up.
So the Blazers still have a chance to score 4 points total in this trip if they hit a 3 here. They don't need to rush it. They go to Ojula in the paint. Offensive rebound, Ojula, and the putback.
Ojula really has some good hands down there in the paint. It's so hard to deflect that basketball once he gets his mitts on it.
Eman Ojula, one of the more impressive people that we've met in this tournament because the man has a PhD. Axel Doromal, that jumper's good.
Oh, that's a different look now for Doromal. In the first half, he was taking everything off the dribble. This time, posting up Gab Cometa.
And you like that from your point guard, taking advantage of the size mismatch. 10 points already for Doromal. Enot now. He's got Koulibaly on him. That's a mismatch. The drive, and Koulibaly sends that shot back. Ojula was there, but could not finish.
Still, those gimmies can't drop for the Benilde Blazers. It's right there, just the rim denying them.
And that's got to be frustrating, whether you're a member of the coaching staff or a player or even a fan of the Benilde Blazers. Konti na lang eh. And then you have Axel Doromal to add insult to injury with that jumper.
Axel Doromal using the window again over Gab Cometa. Cometa has to do a better job getting position early, not allowing Doromal deep seal like that.
Cometa starting the second half in place of Jomel Ancheta. Time running out here. Enot with a 3. He rushed that shot. Oli's there for the offensive rebound. To Liwag, and they're 5-on-4 here. MisOr Mustangs are missing a guy, and Koulibaly calls for time after he grabbed that rebound. I believe Deo Lucero is hurt. Parang natapilok.
Nakaapak ata siya ng paa when he went for that rebound against Matthew Oli. And if Lucero can't go, this is going to be quite the blow for the MisOr Mustangs because De Lucero has 7 assists and he's been conducting this offense to near perfection for MisOr.
Let's take a look at how that happened. Parang natapilok eh, Coach.
Like a misstep dun sa rebounding battle nila ni Matthew Oli.
Lucero's back up on the floor, able to walk on his own. Not even much of a limp.
So right now, the adrenaline is taking over, so hindi niya mararamdaman yan agad-agad. But the problem is, if he sits down and takes a rest and, you know, lets it fester, he's gonna feel it now.
So Tete Teodoro steps in. Actually, what happened to Nobi Lucero reminds me of what happened to the Aaron Fox of the Sacramento Kings just last week. So that happened to him. Natapilok din siya, or a high ankle sprain. He actually came back, finished the game, and then he's been on the injured list since. So it's really in the aftermath of the injury, immediate aftermath, the adrenaline can still carry you through to keep performing in the game.
Well, he has to find a way to keep that ankle warm. Because if, you know, he cools off, his body cools off, that ankle will start to swell. So the maneuverability won't be there. And he's a guy that relies on a lot of speed and changing direction. So he won't be able to do that if that ankle was up.
Eugene Toba at the line, calmly draining that first free throw. 19 na para kay Eugene Toba.
And that was a great high-low play from the Mustangs, Koulibaly, issuing that entry pass down to Toba.
2 for 2. Don't see Eugene Toba. Nobody on the Benilde Blazers has even eclipsed the double-digit mark at this point. And the MisOr Mustangs seem to have been the more prepared team. And if the MisOr Mustangs advance to the finals, and if Nobi Lucero is unavailable, that's going to be a very difficult task for them to overcome, given that Statham Academy is waiting in the wings. Ojula, another offensive rebound. I believe that's his 4th or 5th already in the quarter.
He's been the one consistent force for the Benilde Blazers all game long.
Another opportunity for Gab Cometa, and they are chipping away at the lead. So this is what the Benilde Blazers have been doing. They're trying to get some stops, make some quick baskets. But at some point, the ball swings the other way, but it is not at this moment.
And this is what the Blazers need to do, string together multiple stops and go on a run. They haven't really been able to put together a big run. They've scored 4 points, they've scored 6 straight points, but never really those 8 to 10-0 runs that they've been used to the whole tournament long.
Let's see if the Benilde Blazers can build on this mini run that they have been on. So far, they've been relying on Eman Ojula to clean the glass on the offensive end. Sanchez had some space, makes the corner 3, 6-point game.
What a find from Tony Inot, locating Justin Sanchez in the corner with that hook pass.
The familiarity between Inot and Sanchez paying off in dividends. Another rebound for Benilde. Sanchez handling the rock himself. Could he be feeling it? Tried to dump it to Ojula. Careless pass from Sanchez, and Doromales all alone. That was too easy for Axel.
Poor play there from Justin Sanchez. He was feeling himself after that 3-point shot. Unfortunately, turning that ball over, leading to an easy layup for Axel Doromal.
The presence of mind from Doromal, making sure that Inot would just disappear on defense after that pump fake. Too easy for Axel. 8 on the shot clock here. Oli trying to get those points back with that 3. And now they're just down by 5. Coach J.R. Kawaling calls for time. The Benilde Blazers have jumped out to I believe this is a 12-8 quarter as we take a look at that 3-point shot of the game, brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets.
MisOr Mustangs. So earlier, he twisted his ankle, but nothing too serious. Kinamusta ko rin naman siya kanina. Medyo ngumingiti pa nga rin siya kanina sa bench. So gentlemen, that's all for now.
Baka naman na-inspire sa presence mo at the bench, Sab. Thank you very much for that update on Deo Lucero.
Good to see Deo Lucero back. You know, he's going to be a vital piece going down in the second half for the MisOr Mustangs.
13-8, that's been the score here in the third quarter in favor of the Benilde Blazers, who are running and literally on a run themselves. Cometa calling the action here, directing traffic. They go to Sanchez. Right corner 3 for Oli. That's good! Single possession game.
It's no surprise that the Benilde Blazers are making this run thanks to their 3-point shooting, which was absent the whole first half.
And we brought this up at the top of our coverage. Matthew Oli and his 3-point shooting spelling the difference right now. Deo Lucero's back on the floor. As Sabrina San Diego alluded to earlier, he got called for that travel.
And what makes it more dangerous for the Blazers is that this 3-point shooting, as you see the 3-point shot, of the game brought to you by CORSA Tires dominate the streets. Matthew Ollie finding his stroke here in the third quarter. And going back to my point, what makes it more difficult for the Mustangs is when this Matthew Ollie connects, this allows Tony Inot and Justin Sanchez open lanes to the basket.
Speaking of Matthew Ollie, he's getting a bit frustrated. Offensive foul laban sa Benilde Blazers. Medyo nasayangan sila kasi syempre, they could have hit a three and taken the lead right away, or they could have at least tied it. Now, it's going to be MisOr Mustangs possession.
And now again, a crucial juncture here in the third quarter wherein the subs for the MisOr Mustangs are coming in. Again, they have to maintain this high level of gameplay from their starters.
So Doromal takes a seat, Tete Teodoro's in. Val Acuña's also checked in, he's also a sharpshooter. And they're joined by Coulibaly and Toba. MisOr needs to stop the bleeding here. Tete just throws it up. Rebound Oli. The Blazers are running here. Inot from behind the arc. There you go! 19-8 run here as Tete Teodoro's shot hits nothing but air. The Benilde Blazers comeback is real. The Benilde Blazers now up by 4. 22-8. That's the run they've been on in this third quarter. Whatever Coach Raiko Toroman and Coach Paulo Layug said in the locker room must have worked because Gab Cometa hit that last three-point shot of the game. Brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. Our fans of the game brought to you by CORSA Motorcycle Tires. Dominate the streets. They're getting treated to quite the comeback from the Benilde Blazers. They've been shooting lights out in the third, Coach.
They've made 4 3-point shots compared to only 3 the whole first half. So that's been one aspect of their offense that was missing in the first half, which they've discovered now here in the third quarter. That's why they're up 4 points.
And the Benilde Blazers, this is their first lead in this contest. They've been looking up at the MisOr Mustangs throughout the entirety. Just seemingly throwing everything at the wall, and then finally something worked here.
It all starts with their defense. They've generated, again, multiple stops, allowing them to get on the fast break and finding these open shooters.
They're also winning the turnover battle right now as Acuña couldn't hit anything there. Pushing the pace, here's Inot with a drive and the layup.
The quickness that Tony Inot took that basketball from one end of the court to the other, beating all 5 shirts to the rim.
13 points for Tony Inot. And this is the Inot we know and love. Lucero driving inside, could not finish in traffic. That ankle's got to be bothering him. Meanwhile, Matthew Oli got called for the travel. That's another Matthew Oli turnover in the quarter.
Matthew Oli took a look at his sneakers right after, as if trying to blame them for not being able to stop.
Meanwhile, that Inot drive was brought to you by Jabber Motocom. Make rides more fun. Drive of the game indeed. And the pace has quickened here in the second half. Val Acuña stops and pops. Siya naman yung nilalabig ngayon. Sanchez on the run. Tony Inot from the outside. Can anyone miss here?
Tony Inot says, no, nobody can miss. This is now a 17-0 bomb detonated by the Benilde Blazers in the midway here in the third.
The Benilde Blazers have turned on the Jets here. Doromal, can he answer back? Yes, he does.
Oh, that's a big shot by Axel Doromal, immediately contributing when he checked back in.
2:37 remaining. If you're just joining us, this has been quite the entertaining performance from the Benilde Blazers. Inot against Doromal. Lost Doromal. Threw it up. Ojula with another offensive rebound. Make that 2 in this possession. Sends himself to the line.
And this is what's really impressed me with Emon Ojula, is his ability to play with position. He's not the tallest guy, he's not the most athletic world import, but he's so great at finding the right position to get those offensive rebounds.
That's 9 offensive rebounds for Emon Ojula, bringing his total to 14. Meanwhile, Jomel Ancheta back here in the game. We haven't seen him all quarter. And Gab Cometa takes a seat.
And the Mustangs have really gone away from their offense that was working in the first half. That ball screen action between Doromal or Lucero and Eugene Toba, who's always popping out for those open threes. So we really haven't seen that action here in the third quarter.
We feel that Ojula magnitude, pop, with the way that he's been creating those opportunities off the offensive glass. Approaching the 2-minute mark here in the third. Doromal was calling for it. Doromal with another 3.
Doromal showing his worth. Mr. Finals MVP, hitting a couple of big shots to keep his team in the game.
Naka-etneb na tong si Axel Doromal. Here's Oli to Ojula. And that's a travel. And the Benilde Blazers, they've been well-traveled throughout this game. Several violations haven't been called on them already.
And as he said, Stan, that traveling, but the Mustangs a bit lucky there because Ojula was wide open for that layup if he didn't travel.
Blazers up by 5. 29-14. That's the third quarter scoring in favor of the Benilde Blazers. Tete Teodoro, step back 3. Kinapos. Sanchez gets the rebound, and now he is on the move. Swinging it to Enot. And why not? That's how you spell Enot. Tony Enot's got 19.
Tony Enot, the microwave, heating up dito sa third quarter natin. That was his third 3 of the quarter alone.
Last minute here in the third. The MisOr Mustangs unable to figure out just what hit them here in the third quarter. Valacuña, sidestep, takes that J. That's a veteran move.
As he said, the vet coming up big. Valacuña, a couple of big shots from Doromal and Acuña trying to keep the Mustangs in striking distance.
Ancheta going past the screen there. They go back to Enot. Ojula inside, throws it up. Another offensive rebound and another putback.
That seems to be the play for Emon Ojula. Just throw it up there even if you're off balance because he knows he can get it still.
May double-double na siya just on offensive rebounds alone. Shot clock's been turned off. What's Doromal got in mind? Axel Doromal and Eugene Toba, miscommunication there. Ball goes out with 3/10 of a second remaining.
Doromal didn't see Tete Teodoro was open in the corner because Ancheta was already trying to help off the roll ni Eugene Toba.
Tony Enot goes to the bench. Kobe Ordoño takes his place. Ancheta throws it up. That did not beat the buzzer. And at the end of the third, the Benilde Blazers have successfully mounted a comeback, and they're up by 8, 75-67. The Benilde Blazers outscored the MisOr Mustangs 34-16 in that third quarter alone.
The three-point shooting appearing for the Benilde Blazers. They made 6 3-point shots compared to only 3 in the first half.
And let's take a look at some of those highlights from Emon Ojula cleaning the glass. Tony Enot just catching fire like he was in the Hunger Games.
Tony Enot leading the way with 19 points, bringing really a lot of energy to the offense. And Matthew Oli finally finding his rhythm from the outside as well.
And we were talking about what Coach Raiko Toroman must have said to the Benilde Blazers in that locker room. We probably won't be able to tell you everything that he said, but whatever it was, it worked for this Benilde Blazers team.
And you can see that his kids have responded to the challenge by Coach Raiko Toroman, led by the veteran Emon Ojula, dominating the offensive glass, multiple attempts at second chances.
And just to correct you there, Coach, those are not kids. They're playing like men right here as we take another break. We'd like to remind you that CORSA Tires is the official partner of the 2023 Asiabasket Championship Dasmariñas, which you can catch on YouTube, Facebook, Tap Sports, and of course, on the Blast TV app. And we'd like to thank the city of Dasmariñas for their warm welcome and extensive support throughout our stay in this beautiful city over the last week.
And I'd like to correct myself from earlier. The Benilde Blazers actually made 7 3-point shots in the third quarter, not 6.
They found their range and their momentum, and now they're frustrating Las Coulibaly and the MisOr Mustangs.
Emon Ojula trying to plead this case to the referees that he kept his hands up during that attack, and that's big because Emon Ojula now with 3 fouls.
Eugene Toba gets some rest, well-deserved. Edok Doroteo in his spot. Crucial free throw there, missed by Las Coulibaly. He's joined on the floor by Doroteo, Doromal, Lucero, and Acuña.
And the MisOr Mustangs understanding now just how fast the night changes. Total turnaround from their first half.
Well, if you're the MisOr Mustangs, you only have one direction to go, and that's towards your own comeback.
Let's see if they can execute well here defensively.
Justin Sanchez, no good there, hits the back of the rim. Lucero running the break. And there's a foul. The basket count. So that's going to count for Nobi Lucero. He has an end-one opportunity there. 9 points and 9 assists for Lucero, who is playing after that ankle sprain earlier.
Looks like the trainers kept it warm for him. That's why he's still able to move at that speed. The Blazers really asking for an offensive foul. They thought Lucero pushed off before he took that shot.
Ito si Lucero, yung laro niya, napaka-maabilidad eh. Like, he really uses his guile and his quickness. And we didn't see much of that when he made his Asiabasket debut last year in the Summer Championship. He was a little-used player in the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtor squad. So I'm glad he's getting this chance to shine for the MisOr Mustangs.
He's really developed into a very good basketball player during his time playing not only in the Asiabasket but in the different leagues as well.
And for Lucero, this is valuable reps that he's getting as he earns his eligibility for the EAC Generals.
And you can see how important Lucero and Doromal both are to the MisOr Mustangs, because whenever one of them is off the floor, the Benilde Blazers are able to go on a run. So I don't think Coach J.R. Kawaling or Coach Lea Avenido are going to take both guys out in this fourth quarter.
First free throw is good for Kobe Ordonio, who grew up in Seaside, California. And when you see these players from the younger generation who are named after the iconic names from the generation we grew up on, it does start to make you feel old. The likes of Lebron Lopez, Kobe Ordonio, Kobe Paras. What a steal by Justin Sanchez, taken away by MisOr. Axel from the baseline fades, and Liwag deflects that out of bounds.
That's great hustle by Nobi Lucero there, making up for his turnover, getting it back, finding Doromal. Despite the miss, they still have a second chance because of the hustle from Nobi Lucero.
And that's accountability. You make a mistake, you try to get it back, but you also play it calculated. Lucero just feeding Las Coulibaly. Offensive rebound, Coulibaly with the putback.
Oh, this is going to be some big minutes for the Benilde Blazers front line without Emon Ojula having to face both Toba and Coulibaly at the same time.
6 points now for Coulibaly. Ordonio with the drive, kicking out to Sanchez, who had so much time and room. Couldn't hit that three. Oli gets the rebound. Sanchez calling for it again. This time he drives. That defense really bothered him. Oli, the hustle sa ano, but there's Lucero to Acuña for three. No good. And the scramble for the loose ball leads to another opportunity for the Benilde Blazers. Ancheta took that shot, rejected by Toba. So many taps and spikes and deflections here.
That's a bad take from Jomel Ancheta, trying to shoot that floater over Eugene Toba.
1 foot difference between both guys, but then there's Axel Toromal. Leave it to the professionals, as he said.
Coach Raiko Toroman letting Jomel Ancheta know what he thought about that last play.
Makakarinig ka mamaya niyan. Sanchez, nice pass inside, going back out here. And the Benilde Blazers look to be in a bit of a slump of their own. Narrow lead here, time running out on the shot clock. Kobe Ordonio with that floater draws contact, and he's gonna earn himself some free throws. So you have to respect that. Kobe Ordonio knew he didn't have a lot of options. At least he got himself 2 free throws.
Oh, that was great patience by Kobe Ordonio. He understood how much time was left on the shot clock. Still able to generate a good enough shot to draw a foul.
Now let's take a look at that Axel Toromal move of the game, brought to you by CORSA motorcycle tires. Dominate the streets, moving without fear. Even if you had Allen Liwag on you, that's skill right there.
You know, that's skill and experience. It's obvious that Axel Toromal has faced taller opponents before.
First free throw is good for Ordonio. He's got 7. And Coach Raiko Toroman, what a treat to see him work his magic here in Asiabasket.
What I'd give to see a practice being run by Coach Raiko over there at the Benilde practice facility. Must be a coach's dream to really pick his brain every time he holds practice.
And the Benilde Blazers head coach Charles Yu knows all about that because he was mentored by Raiko Toroman. Nice pass inside, but Coulibaly unable to handle it. Blazers on the move. Ancheta takes the 3. No. And now MisOr is on the run. Toromal with a wild shot. Gets his own miss. No free throws for Toromal. That's his 5th rebound.
And that's going to be the 4th foul on Jomel Ancheta. And Coach Raiko staring daggers at Jomel Ancheta.
Look at Ancheta not even looking his coach's way. If I don't see you, I will not feel you. But there, Jomel Ancheta takes a seat on the bench. Naramdaman niya, hinila siya eh. Upo ka. Gab Cometa back on the floor here. Toba for 3. That's short. Toba gets his own miss. So that's a 2nd straight offensive rebound off a missed 3 for MisOr, and Toba makes the layup.
That's the problem that the Benilde Blazers have had the past few possessions. Every time somebody takes a shot, nobody blocks out the shooter. It's the shooter that gets the offensive rebound.
It's a tale of 2 halves here. The Benilde Blazers look listless in the first half, and yet in the second half, Eman Ojula, Tony Inon, Justin Sanchez, Jomel Ancheta all came to life.
Again, it's the discipline being implemented by Coach Raiko. Despite the poor start, they stayed within their system and finally found a rhythm.
Something about trusting the process, as Eugene Toba can't get the lucky bounce. Now here's Gab Cometa running point. Action not stopping here for the Benilde Blazers. 10 on the shot clock. A lot of screening action and handoffs here for Benilde. Cometa throws that one up too. A lot of 4 shots here on both sides. As Lucero just gets rejected by Ojula.
Coach Raiko asking for a traveling violation there.
But let's take a look at Eman Ojula sending that shot back to Misamis Oriental. And that defensive play of the game was brought to you by Decathlon. $17 on the shot clock here for the MisOr Mustangs. Toba making his move, lays it up. Rebound Ordonio. And Ordonio gets fouled there by Tete Teodoro. It's frustration foul right there.
You were talking earlier, Stan, about the relationship between Coach Raiko Toroman and Coach Charles Chu, who Coach Raiko mentored during the first iteration, the OG Gilas team. And one member of the OG Gilas team is facing his old mentor there, Coach J.R. Kawaling, whom Coach Raiko personally recruited for that team.
How poetic that we see a matchup like this in this tournament. Liwag to Ojula, didn't even hit the rim. another opportunity for CSB, and Alan Liwag cashes in.
What a play by Gab Cometa, stealing the ball after that rebound by Eugene Toba, immediately finding Liwag open.
That's only Liwag's second basket, believe it or not. Axel Doromal through the defense. And that's a travel.
That's great help there by Emon Ojula. Not forcing the issue, not trying to get the steal, but just forcing Doromal to commit a turnover.
4:35 in this tightly contested matchup. And if the first half was any indication, then we probably wouldn't have had this on our bingo cards.
Well, the Blazers really did start no energy at all. That's why the Mustangs raced out an early 16-point lead after one.
But that third quarter changed everything. 34-16 in favor of the Blazers. Gab Cometa with a three. Double-digit lead now for the Benilde Blazers.
And this has been really the game changer for the Blazers. The outside shooting, staying hot here in the second half.
That's the 11th three-pointer for CSB in this contest.
And 8 of the 11 coming here in the second half. So that's what really changed the momentum, changed the tempo of this game, favoring the Blazers.
Meanwhile, the MisOr Mustangs only shooting 26%, 5 of 19 from the outside.
And we've seen the noticeable difference in the game of Noby Lucero after that ankle injury. He hasn't been as aggressive. He's been taking his spots.
Look at that, Toba and Sanchez were fighting for position. And the Benilde Blazers are now in the penalty with a little under 4 minutes to go here in regulation. So
Defensively, especially working against Eugene Toba.
24 points now for Eugene Toba, who is still far away from his customary double-doubles. He only has 4 boards here. And the MisOr Mustangs just getting out-rebounded here by the Blazers. Rebounding battle is 46-33 in favor of the Benilde Blazers. Sanchez from the right corner. That's money. 9 points for Justin Sanchez. And the Blazers are up by 11 here with 3:23 remaining in the fourth.
What a time for Justin Sanchez to find his stroke.
Let's see what Lucero does here. He's just pushing the break, gets the basket. That's going to count. And the MisOr Mustangs needed that break. Deo Lucero just willing his way to the basket and then the foul line. 12 points for Lucero.
And you can see him really grimacing after any kind of effort to push off on that that ankle sprain. You know, credits to Noby Lucero really toughing it out.
And that's grit right there from your point guard.
Oh, he's really showing that he's tough enough to stay in this game.
Cometa at the controls here for the Blazers. Goes to Ordonio. Sanchez going up. He was looking to feed Ojula there, but he got fouled while he was in midair.
Sanchez could have taken that layup and gotten 2 free throws, but looks like he's going to still get those 2 free throws.
.14 on the shot clock here. So a bit of confusion. Justin Sanchez is not at the foul line. Tony Enot was actually on the sideline waiting to inbound the ball. So our officials are conferring with the game announcer and they've switched balls as well. Naging madulas na ata.
Madulas na nga, and they've been using that basketball for quite a while now, and we've seen a lot of slips and a lot of sweat being transferred to our basketballs here.
So it's Benilde possession here. Enot to the other side. Ordonio, long three is good.
And the three-point shooting on point the whole second half.
That was a Mamba moment right there for Ordonio, who's in double digits as well. So several of the Benilde Blazers have already scored in double digits.
Lucero having words with someone on the Benilde bench after that foul. He's pointing at someone over there.
5 Benilde Blazers are in double digits already, Coach. Kobe Ordonio joining them in that camp.
Again, that's just the sheer depth of this lineup for the Benilde Blazers. And it's very important that this group goes through, trials and tribulations early together, because they know, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them come NCAA season 100. And Coach Raiko understands famous saying of a son of a plumber, hard times breed better men.
And it's part of the hero's journey. You really have to overcome that adversity. And everybody lives through main character energy or main character syndrome in their own right. And in their minds, they have to do what they can to finish the story and get to that promised land of winning that championship. So the adversity does build character. Sanchez driving. Nice feed to Ojula. Fifth dime right there from Justin Sanchez.
And you like the discipline from Gab Cometa despite that ankle breaker. Staying patient and executing.
Axel Doromal no good for 3. Cometa able to pick it up anyway. Gab Cometa for 3, way off. Ordonio offensive rebound. Tony Inot with a second chance in that last 2-minute call. Earlier was brought to you by Grab Kitchen. Coach J.R. Kawaling is running out of answers for these Benilde Blazers.
And it's been the hustle and the energy of the Benilde Blazers really making the difference here in the second half. Nobi Lucero couldn't even go down anymore on defense. That ankle is really bothering him.
13-point lead for the Benilde Blazers. We'll be right back. The festivities continue this weekend here at the Dasmariñas Arena. Our music fest on Sunday features Nobita, Mayonnaise, and Al James. That's on Sunday. Tickets available at Ticket Melon. Just scan the QR code, pero pwede ring mag-walk-in at bumili ng tickets sa Dasmariñas Arena. Kung gusto nyo ng sulit bayad, then get your tickets tomorrow para makapag-battle for third at finals kayo. And then the following day, come back and join us for the music fest. That's how we do it here in Asiabasket. Closing out 2023 on a high note here.
And looking at the quarter scoring for the Blazers, they only had 11 points in the first quarter. But in the second and the third, they scored 30 and 34 points, which really buoyed this comeback and this big run towards the end.
Comeback is real para sa Benilde Blazers. And that's another turnover for the MisOr Mustangs. That's their 14th of the contest.
And that's the just having Coach Raiko Toroman at the head of the table and having a wise man like Coach Paulo Laik beside him, the leadership, being able to come back, instilling that discipline to stay within their system and not force anything.
Eman Ojula with yet another offensive rebound, another putback, extending this lead to 15. That brings his offensive rebound total alone to 12 and his rebounding number to 18.
Monster game again from Eman Ojula. When they needed him the most, he stepped up.
Ordonio takes it away on the move by himself with the finish. 13 for Kobe Ordonio. And the Benilde Blazers are on a high because they just flipped this game on its head. And with a little over a minute left, they're very, very close to guaranteeing themselves a spot in the finals in Asiabasket yet again.
The Blazers showing there's nothing more to it. Playing so well. He never saw them really, play out of their system. They stayed true to what they do, stayed patient, especially with their outside shooting. And when they were able to knock it down, that was a huge run, 17-0 run, really a game breaker.
Eman Ojula takes a seat there as Axel Doromal throws up an air ball. Ojula had 18 points, 18 rebounds in this game. And the Benilde Blazers, they also made the finals in Las Piñas against the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Disappointing finish for them, despite the underdog story that led them to that run. Whereas here, it looks like their winning streak will continue and they will remain undefeated heading into the finals against Statham Academy.
That's quite the matchup. Blazers against the Statham Academy. You see the one-on-one prowess of the Statham players versus the team concept of the Benilde Blazers.
Somebody cue that Simpsons meme because Gab Cometa hit another 3 at the expense of the MisOr Mustangs. 20 points separating them. And the officials asking them to just run out the clock here. That was a MisOr Mustangs 3 that converted 17 points. That's the margin. And as time runs out, congratulations to the Benilde Blazers. They are 1 win away from being the EST of Asiabasket. As it stands, they are undefeated.
What a comeback from the Benilde Blazers. Remember, they were down 16 points early. Again, the outside shooting in that third quarter where they made 7 3-point shots fueled by that 17-0 run really changed the whole tempo of this game.
And that's your updated bracket, the Benilde Blazers, Statham Academy. That's your finals matchup. But before that, your battle for third at 5 p.m. tomorrow, the MisOr Mustangs take on the Shawarma Shack. The question, once again, can the Benilde Blazers or Statham Academy finish the story? We'll find out tomorrow in our championship game. What an effort all around from the Benilde Blazers, who have just stunned the MisOr Mustangs. Our best player of the game with a monster performance, Emma Nojula, is standing by with Sabrina San Diego.
Emma, congratulations for being the best player of the game. And just to have a recap, the team was really quiet during the first half, and then third quarter happened. Can you explain to us how the magic started?
Most of our teammates, they're sick. Most of them have flu, so I think it affected the way we started the game. So at least, thank God, we were able to bounce back.
You have 1 game away from getting this championship. Are you ready for this? What's your game plan?
By the grace of God, we're ready.
Any message or shout out to all of your fans who are tuning in?
Shout out to Aguara Jeff Akins, my brother in Nigeria, Ojola Michael. Then I would like to wish Ikechi Gweze quick recovery, AJ Oli, Eugene Toba, and to all my friends back home.
Congratulations to you and to the rest of the team. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Sab. Very classy remarks from Eman Ojula. What a professional. You have to admire that. What a leader for the Benilde Blazers. What a comeback, coach.
Definitely started from the defensive end for the Blazers that fueled their transition offense. They were able to find those open shooters, and when they got hot, they were near unstoppable.
It wasn't just Eman Ojula, it was Tony Inot, it was Gab Cometa, Matthew Oli, all-around effort. Kobe Ordonio, they've made believers out of the fans here in the Dasmariñas Arena. But we'll see tomorrow who takes home that championship, whether it's the Benilde Blazers remaining undefeated or Statham Academy, who've just been equally dominant in this tournament. Your top seeds in both groups will go head-to-head in tomorrow's championship game from the Dasmariñas Arena right here in Cavite. This has been Stancy, and on behalf of Coach Mark Dandan, Sabrina San Diego, and our fantastic production team here in Asiabasket, this has been our coverage of the 2023 CORSA Tires Asiabasket Championship Dasmariñas. Goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang!